We are also quite cognizant that this is the first step in a long road ahead.
Well, as they say, the devil is in the details when it comes to the sale of the Tower Theater. Lawrence Abate and his family have owned the Tower Theater for nearly 80 years, but it seems trying to sell has become more complicated than ever, and a court battle will take center stage. Right? Our panel. Chief editor of the San Joaquin Valley Sun and former campaign staffer for Congressman David Valadao and Mayor Jerry Dyer, Alex Tavlian, is here. And client advisor and economic consultant for CMTC Solutions, Craig Sharton. Gentlemen, welcome in. How are you guys?
Great.
Well, Alex, I want to begin with you, as you're kind of like the resident lawyer here on the panel. The judge's decision to really put a halt to the sale of the Tower Theater. Expected? Was that protocol? Or Lawrence Abate and Adventure Church really do have a problem on their hands? How do you see this?
Obviously, I would say it should have been expected. You know, when we discovered that there was either, depending on how you look at it, a first right of refusal or an option to buy, that language being in a lease it's common in a lot of places. It was very common with the Tower Theater. So the moment that it became public that there was such a procedure or a mechanism here, anyone who follows the law or is involved in the law or real estate would know this is going to cause a problem. And so it's not surprising that the judge came in and said, hey, we need to hash this out. What is really the confusing element, and it's the part that most of us really don't have a firm answer to, is how does, the ruling yesterday, being Wednesday now, how does the ruling on Wednesday affect their sale of the remainder parts of the property? Because again, Tower Theater Complex is not just the theater, it's not just the restaurants, it's the whole thing. And so we've certainly parceled out the portion that's owned by Sequoia Brewing. What does that do for the rest of the property? Is that able to close? And really, I don't know if we're going to have a good answer anytime soon.
Well, we hope to have an answer by March 17th. That's the next court date. So, Craig, I know you followed this very closely as being a small business consultant. So what does this restraining order do to the Tower District as they kind of wait it out, meaning the uncertainty of it all?
Well, I talked to Kim Mayhew, the attorney for the Sequoia Brewing Company, and she said that the owner said it was supposed to close the following day, and if this got held up, it would throw out the entire sale of the property. And I don't know if that was just hyperbole for the court. We'll have to see if it really does muck up the deal or not. But, Alex is right. It's the entire block. And, I think the other thing that is really lurking behind all of this is that we had created the Tower District Specific Plan back in 1991, which was adopted in the Tower Theater, by the way, in March of 91, so however much, 30 years ago.
Well, what's weird about this is, it's still a private sale. So is this more about what the community wants, or a business owner really trying to choose to sell his business to whomever they want? Craig, I'll start with you on this one. It just doesn't seem there's no happy median anywhere, and it's going to cause friction wherever you go.
Yeah, well, and it really doesn't, you're right, it doesn't have to do with who's buying it. It has to do with having the first right of refusal. Both Painted Table and Sequoia Brewing Company both said that they had that in the release. And that's what's messing up the sale. Then will have to be the plan amendment and rezoning that will have to go through the city processes to see if they can even operate a church there.
Alex, Adventure Church, at the end of the day, do you think they will own the Tower Theater?
Honestly, I think the theater itself, certainly, they can certainly wind up in ownership of it. The question is, are they going to be able to operate a church out of there, 7 days a week? And we've had a number of alternatives brought to them by the city. There's a lot of threats about rezoning, and that's the big question. Owning it is there's nothing legally barring them from buying it. It's the question is, what can you do with it? And as Craig knows, he's had a lot of experience with this dating back 25, 30 years. The question is the use. What's the use going to be of the theater? Is it going to be a theater, or is it going to be a church? And,
I'll say this. When I've had Pastor Anthony Flores on, he has said that it's going to be a church maybe one day a week, but definitely on Sundays. But it's really going to be the same kind of stuff that's been happening inside the Tower Theater, the events, the concerts, whatever's going on at the Tower Theater will be much of the same. But people in the Tower residents and the community don't believe that. Craig, so where does this stand when it just seems like, and we talked to Tyler Mackey about this, he says they will do whatever it costs to make sure that a Venture Church is not the owner. Well, and really, Alex and I agree on that. It's the ownership issue is very separate than how they can operate there. And they have to make the case of why the city should change the plan and change the zoning. And I think they're going to have a hell of a time because the community is going to be strongly against it. And so why would a city council overturn an existing plan for something that the community doesn't want? Alex, finish it off.
And then there's the balloon effect to everything else. Yeah.
Well, Alex, I just wanted you to kind of finish that off. It kind of seems like
beyond that, you've got the balloon effect of what happens if you change the use, if you rip up what's been existing for 30 plus years. And I think you know, for all intents and purposes, the implications here are vast. And you know, the starting point though begins in court with the fight between Sequoia and the ownership of the Tower Theater right now.
All right, Alex Tavlian and Craig Sharpton, we're just getting warmed up here. A lot to talk about, including a heated Clovis City Council race, so hang tight.